Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Meyer. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. And welcome to Twilight Tuesday on Page Turner's They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. Today, I would like to talk about not a controversial subject, but a hot subject. A hot topic, if you like. And what is the hot topic today? Well, let's see. What is on everyone's minds right now? Ah, yes. The Star Wars teaser trailer. Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Let's talk about two things. I want to talk about, number one, the title. And number two, the elephant in the room, the laugh of Palpatine. So let's begin with the title. The title is The Rise of Skywalker. My initial reaction to the title was very interesting. I went, ooh, oh. That was the exact sound I made. Ooh, oh. I had to think about that one for a minute. So let's talk about what does it mean. Well, I think that the first thing that immediately comes to mind, Luke Skywalker, is Luke. Does this title mean that Luke is going to be resurrected? It could mean. Now, there are some folks who have the theory that Luke did not actually die at the end of The Last Jedi. I think he did. I think he's passed away. But could he be resurrected? It's certainly possible. There's a lot about the Force that we don't know. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think it's up to Rey right now. What else could it mean? Well, as I have often theorized, I believe that Rey takes upon herself the mantle of Skywalker and thus rises. Another, of course, is that Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren, is redeemed and thus rises. I don't want Kylo Ren to be redeemed, not because I think he's irredeemable. Because let's face it, Vader was redeemed and did some bad stuff too. But I don't want Kylo Ren to be redeemed because I think in terms of the story, that would be too similar to Return of the Jedi. However, if anything, if it's done right, I'm willing to accept it. Or if it's done in a way that works for me, I am willing to accept it. Another is that perhaps Leia rises to become the leader of whatever the new government in the galaxy is. It's certainly possible. I mean, they certainly used the Leia theme throughout the entire teaser, but I don't know if that's necessarily indicative of anything. It might have just been there to pay a nice tribute to Leia. And I'm glad we got to see her in the teaser. And I think that's her holding the medal. I think that's her. It's nice we got to see her hugging Rey. That's a tug at your heartstrings kind of moment. Now, another possibility is that Rise of Skywalker, but, like Luke's daughter. But I do not believe that they are going to suddenly retcon that. Though there is a little bit of wiggle room with the quote-unquote revelation about her parents from The Last Jedi. But, I don't think that's going to happen. So those are my thoughts on the title. If you have any thoughts, please share them. Please comment and let me know. So let's talk about that laugh. Ooh. Now this part, I think, was the most unexpected part of the teaser. Yeah, I knew, I had a feeling that at the very end of the teaser there was going to be some surprise. Like, in Force Awakens teaser, it was Han saying, Chewie, we're home. That's the worst Han Solo impression, by the way. And I think the teaser, The Last Jedi, ended with Luke saying, it's time for the Jedi to end. Okay. So that laugh, very surprising. So it took me a minute to figure it out. The very last shot in the teaser is our heroes looking at what looks like to be a chunk of the Death Star in an ocean somewhere. I am assuming Endor. I believe Endor has oceans. Or the forest moon of Endor. I don't know much about the actual planet Endor, which I thought was a gas giant, but I'm going to have to look that up. Anyhow, I think it's a piece of the second Death Star. I think. So, Palpatine's laugh. Alright, well, here's my thought on that. The theory that I gravitate toward is that Palpatine may have figured out a way to preserve his identity and basically be a Sith ghost. I do not believe Palpatine is alive, in the sense that I don't think he survived blowing up when he got thrown down that shaft. Could he be resurrected? Maybe. But going back to what I gravitate toward, I think perhaps he is a Sith ghost. Now, some people may be asking, well, where was he the whole time? In the old legends, there were a lot of Sith ghosts. There was a theory that Sith ghosts could only be tied to an object or a place and did not have the ability to move around the way that a Jedi Force ghost could. So I believe that Palpatine may be haunting the wreckage of the Death Star. That he is tied to that, and maybe his ghost, his Sith ghost, could only exist there. And maybe the good guys need to find it before Kylo Ren does, because maybe Palpatine will impart evil knowledge or somehow be able to make things even worse in the galaxy. Somehow. So that's the theory that I believe that Palpatine may be a Sith ghost. It could also be, going away from my theory, it could also be that maybe Palpatine left a holocron, a repository of Sith knowledge. And it's like a hologram of him that has some, evil words of advice or whatever. We saw in Star Wars Rebels that a Sith holocron is able to communicate. The essence of a dead Sith can exist within the holocron. I don't mean their spirit, but I mean that it's like a computer. But it's like you can talk to it. Ezra had a Sith holocron, and he was actually able to speak with whoever's holocron that was, a woman of some sort. He was actually able to speak with her and communicate. Maybe Palpatine left something like that behind. And maybe that's what it is. Which I think is probably the most plausible, that it's a Sith holocron with Palpatine that Palpatine built. But I still like the ghost idea. Another theory, of course, is that he could be resurrected. It's certainly possible. As I said, we don't fully understand the Force. Maybe Kylo Ren seeks to resurrect Palpatine. But the good guys, Rey and the others, need to stop that somehow. Because if Palpatine were resurrected and teamed up with Kylo Ren, they, I think, would be unstoppable. And, another theory, of course, that I have is that that laugh is just there for the teaser. But I would find it very unlikely for them to stick Palpatine's laugh in the teaser if he wasn't going to be involved somehow. And the last theory I'd like to mention, I'm going to combine the Palpatine laugh with the title of the movie. There's so many more theories we could talk about, but this is the one I want to end with. The Rise of Skywalker may refer to the fact that Palpatine created Anakin Skywalker. This is a fan theory that's been going on since the novel Darth Plagueis. Now, the novel is non-canon, it's legends, but people have still discussed how it could fit. I believe, in the events of the Darth Plagueis novel, Darth Plagueis, who is Palpatine's master, and Palpatine accidentally, more or less, created Anakin. Or were going to create him, but the Force itself responded. Now, I didn't read the book, so I do not know the details, but I have mentioned this on my podcast. So let me outline this really quick. I believe that Palpatine used the Force that he learned from Darth Plagueis, or maybe they teamed up on this, we don't really know, but let's just say Palpatine used the knowledge to manipulate the Force to create Anakin in the womb of his mother. Now, you may be saying, well, how can he be the chosen one if he was created by a Sith Lord? I believe that it's possible that the Force itself fought back and turned this being into the chosen one that would ultimately destroy Palpatine. So in other words, it backfired on him. So the title may refer, and this is a very remote possibility, to the fact that Palpatine created Anakin Skywalker. I believe that that would actually be a very interesting way to end the saga. It even says in the teaser, this is the end of the Star Wars saga. The saga comes to an end. I think it would make perfect sense to tie it all together by saying Palpatine did create Anakin, and that's what the title refers to. It's a long shot, but I like the theory. It is canon, or at least was suggested in the canon, that Palpatine may have created Anakin. This is from the Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith comic series, where the very last issue made that suggestion. Whether or not, but it told it in a way that was ambiguous, and I think that was a smart move. So I believe that that is entirely what the title could be referring to. And that this whole trilogy, or let me rephrase this whole 9-film saga, is the result of Emperor Palpatine. It's certainly possible. So those are my thoughts. Yet again, let me know what you think about the Palpatine laugh. and the chunk of the Death Star. What does that mean to you? You can find me at Tasty Waffle on YouTube. You can follow me at Twitter at Brennan Blue, BRENNENBLUE. Follow me on Facebook at Brennan Marr. And please subscribe to this podcast if you like what I've said. My name is Brennan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. Thank you for tuning in to Twilight Tuesday on Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you.